the number one team in the entire country, the Ohio State Buckeyes, hosting the Minnesota Gophers with PJ Fleck and Drake Lindsay at home in Columbus at 7:30 on NBC tomorrow night. We're going to cover this game completely. I am excited to have this game because I really think this will be the first game all season that we're really going to see this Buckeye offense without any training wheels. So the Buckeyes are 23.5 point favorites. This spread peaked at 24.5 a couple days ago. It is down to 23.5. It is a really big spread, especially against a team with a good defense like Minnesota. Historically, maybe not this year so much. If you've seen the clips over the weekend, PJ Fleck has been super high on this team, praising guys like Jeremiah Smith, Arvell Reese, and obviously, of course, Coach Ryan Day. This has been a game that I've been looking forward to just because I kind of have an affinity a little bit with Minnesota. They were a team that I rebuilt in college football 26 or 2020, whatever the one 25 last year was. So I kind of have a little bit of a connection with Minnesota. I wanted to go to this game. It just my schedule really did not connect. So we're not going to be able to go to this game, but we'll be watching from the comfort of my house. So yeah, the Buckeyes are 23.5 point favorites. The spread is 42.5. We're actually going to jump over to the monitor really quick. Or I always jump to the wrong one. There we go. So Ohio State does have a 94.7% chance to win this game. They're going to win this game. Both sides know this. But I do expect Minnesota to play really hard. It's kind of what PJ Fleck does. If you remember him at Western Michigan, horseshoe, Broncos foot, which obviously I think that's funny. But if we kind of score down to some of the stats here, Drake Lindsay, I think he's the freshman. He has been pretty good this year. With 7 touchdowns to only 2 interceptions. They've had a decent running game. Alex Smith, the defensive lineman, has been really productive through that season. They're coming off the big win over the big win over Rutgers last week. Rutgers has been kind of better than we thought. They've put up a lot of points on offense at least. Obviously they had it doesn't look close, but it was a close loss on the road at Cal. Who obviously Cal is not a very good team. What I am expecting to see this game is I want to see this Ohio State offense without training wheels, and I want to see what this defense does when, they're at home and they've kind of already really proven themselves against Texas and Washington. So I kind of want to see this defense. I kind of expect the defense to only play kind of like a C-plus game. But if you were watching at home, the biggest matchup that I really want to see is Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate versus Coy Parrish. Coy Parrish, if you don't know who he is a white receiver and cornerback. So not only is he a white receiver, which is already kind of rare enough, a white cornerback, which is also rare. He's Travis Hunter. So people are saying he's the next Travis Hunter. He's not the next Travis Hunter. But I do kind of want to see how that matchup is going to go. Do I think he's going to get absolutely burned? Yes. I do wonder if they might just line him up in the slot against maybe guys like Max Clare and Brandon Inniss instead. But I also, now that Bo Jackson is kind of the bona fide starter for this game, I really want to see Bo Jackson with kind of a more leadership role. Like, obviously, CJ Donaldson has really only been used in short yardage. James People is kind of getting, he's kind of fading off the depth chart. And this is kind of Bo Jackson's team. He has 35 rushes for 297 yards. If I want to do my math really quickly, how many yards per carry is that? So, 297 divided by 35. So that is 8.5 rushes per carry. And he's only played in 3 games. So that is 100 yards per game, 8.5 yards per carry. So he's been super productive. Also, I'm if this game kind of gets out of hand, I want to see Isaiah West. I think he might be the second or third best running back on this team. He's the young guy. I think he's probably 4th or 5th on the depth chart. But I do want to see a big game out of Bo Jackson. I think this could be a Jeremiah Smith, not legacy game, but a Jeremiah Smith big game. I think he's going to have 2 touchdowns in this game. I think Carnell could have 2 touchdowns in this game. I will say Jeremiah Smith has never had a 3-touchdown game in his entire career. He's had 2 passing touchdowns and 1 rushing touchdown in a game. I don't remember exactly which game that was, but I do remember him having that at one point. And obviously Julian Sand. Now Julian Sand against a Big Ten team. Obviously they played Washington last week, but Washington is a West Coast team. I want to see the offensive line, especially in the run blocking and the pass blocking, with kind of like a Big Ten gritty defensive line. And one of the players that I really hope I see this game is Ethan Oninawa. If you don't know who that is, I would not be surprised if you don't. He was the transfer from Rice, not the food, the school, the University of Rice. It's a Texas school, I think in the Sun Belt maybe. But he was a left tackle. He was a big transfer. I think he was paid somewhat around $1 million. And coming into the season, he was the projected left tackle. And obviously we brought in Phillip Daniels, who was at Minnesota. He was going to be right tackle. And then kind of going into spring, it's okay, Austin Sareveld is now going to be starting. Really thought it was right tackle, so Phillip wasn't going to start. And then we heard that Austin Sareveld was going to be the left tackle, and I was like, whoa, okay, so what, Ethan's going to be right tackle? And then no, Phillip Daniels is the right tackle, and now Ethan Oniawa, who we paid $1 million, who was supposed to be our starting left tackle, is now not starting for either tackles. And matter of fact, he's not even playing tackle. He is the backup right guard behind Tegra Tishabola, who has been an absolute disappointment. He played zero. He played 0 snaps against Washington last week. I think that has to end. I think he should be the starting right guard. Tegra has been really disappointing this year. So I hope I see more of Ethan Oniawa. I also want to see Edric Houston on the defense. I really want to see him get a get right game. I still think he's very good. Maybe not as good as we thought he was. I think that's kind of what Caden Curry is now. But he's better. He's kind of going through a lot right now with the penalties and the personal fouls, and he hasn't played great. I think this could be a game where he really gets right. Going back to the spread of this game, it is 23.5. A lot of people are not picking Ohio State to cover. Do I expect Julian to throw an interception in this game? I hope not. Maybe he throws one. I want to see this team better in the red zone. This team has struggled in the red zone all year, especially last week and the week before that with Ohio. I guess there was a bye week. But the last 2 games against Ohio and Washington, we have really struggled in the red zone. I want to see that get fixed. I think they can do it this game. I think they will do it this game, which is why with the hook of 23.5, if you don't know what the hook is the 0.5. I think Ohio State wins this game 34-10. I think the defense gives up a field goal late. And I think they win 34-10, winning by 24, which is covering. That means I would probably take the over for this game. I think this is going to be a big game from Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate. I think Julian Sand has 4 passing touchdowns in this game, and maybe even Max Clare gets a touchdown. I want to see if maybe Lincoln gets some action with those red zone packages. I wanted to see that last week against Washington. We did not see it. So I am going to take Ohio State to win this game. I'm going to take them to cover barely. I'm going to take the over. This game is going to be fun. Obviously, it maybe could be a look-ahead game because next week, Ohio State goes on the road to play Illinois. Remember, they had that big loss against Indiana. Then they had the really big win against USC. And that has been announced to be a noon game. This is one of the games where I don't really mind it being a noon game. I don't really want to play in Champaign at night. Noon can be a little bit sleepy, though. So maybe look out for that a little bit. but that will be a fun game. Hopefully Illinois can stay ranked. You just want to get more ranked games on the schedule. So this could be a little bit of a look-ahead game, but I will take Ohio State to cover 34-10. So last thing before we get out of here is talking about this game. In this game, I actually think it means a lot more than what it seems. So Ryan Day is currently 73-10 throughout his career. And if he gets a win today, he would be 74-10. He will have the number one career winning percentage of in major, almost of all time, but it says major college football history, over the legendary Notre Dame head coach, Newt Ruckney. He's an old guy if you don't know. But if Ryan Day gets this, he will have the number one winning percentage really ever in college football, which is absolutely insane that he is still on the hot seat, I guess, and he might have the number one winning percentage ever. So obviously I think that's going to be awesome. I hope you guys all enjoyed watching today's episode and today's preview of Ohio State. Don't forget to go watch the video that I released a couple hours ago talking about just our week 6 previews of the college football season. Don't forget to watch my top 25 teams throughout week 5 that came out yesterday. And don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, hit that notification bell so you get a notification every single time I release a new video. And I will see you guys all on Sunday for after the whistle. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you then. Thank you.